Good day everybody and welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing well. And today I want to start a new series in my channel where I want to have a look at, or a brief look at a few companies which I think are really attractive in the field of the electric vehicle area. And the first company which I want to give you an introduction to is Proterra Energy. And they want to revolutionize the commercial vehicle electrification, as stated right here in the initial investor presentation from Arclight Clean Transition Company in January 2021. And this is the SPAC which Proterra merged with. And so without further ado, just a small disclaimer. This is no financial advice, and I'm invested in the company and therefore I'm biased, so keep this in mind and do your own due diligence before investing or not investing into the company. So, as I mentioned before, the company right now is public, and since most of the companies in the EV SPAC area are just pretty startup companies or are not around for that long, this company is a little bit different since they are they have been founded in 2004, so around 18 years ago, and they are around quite some time and also have some experience. However, this is something I want to show you later on. And if you have a look over here, on June 15th, 2021, they went public with Proterra with the SPAC Arclight ACTC. And in general, just before I want to jump into the initial investor presentation, so Proterra has three different segments. The first, Proterra Powered, then Proterra Transit, and the last one, Proterra Energy. And you can see these are also, I like it in the way the investor presentation is built up, or the company homepage in general. So it's easy to look these things up, and however, they are also in more detail in the investor presentation, therefore I jump right in here. So since it's quite more than a year old, this presentation is not up to date right now. However, most of the details are still correct, I think, and if I know of any changes, I will mention it in the video. So as I mentioned before, the company Proterra is around for some time, and therefore they also have some revenues, and this is, in my opinion, a contrast to different EV SPACs, since they're not even in production right now, or maybe in pretty early stages. This company had revenues of 193 million expected in 2020, and I think it's in exactly 96.9, so around 197 millions in 2020. So this is something to keep in mind, and also this is a good baseline in my opinion. So as I mentioned before, there are three segments of the business. Proterra Powered, which serves commercial vehicle OEMs with the electrification of powertrains and also battery systems and all these different things. And then the biggest part right now is Proterra Transit, which serves transit agencies, and according to the company is the #1 electric transit bus OEM in North America. And the last and smallest segment is the Proterra Energy segment, which contains everything from the energy management for fleets and fleet operators, and also the software for the energy management systems. So these are the three core components, and I will give you a short look about these segments as well. So, however, before I want to do this, there is an overview about the different manufacturing sites Proterra has, and they have three right now. One in LA, which consists of a battery and bus production with up to 280 vehicles or buses per year and 675 megawatt hours battery production. The Burlingame plant has annual or maximum annual capacity of 345 megawatt hours, and the Greenville plant has the maximal capacity for 400 buses. So in total, up to 680 buses and around 1 gigawatt hour batteries. At least right now, since they have another a third battery plant which they are building right now, and it should be finished in the second half of 2022, and they have multiple gigawatt hours per year in a Korea battery factory if it's built and running at full scale. So this is something which should accelerate growth in the battery section in the future. So this was the first part, and then I want to go into a little bit more detail in the different segments. So the first one, Proterra powered, as I mentioned before, different parts, so, and the different models. The first one, you can have, like, I would say almost all sourced out, so from battery systems over the high voltage systems and controls, and also the drivetrain. And then you can do the, it's called energy system integration partnership, with only battery system and high voltage system and controls, and then the battery partnership, which delivers only the battery systems. And this is something I find interesting, and also a good sign if they do also produce the batteries for different other companies in the sector. This means the battery is working good, and this is a good sign for the whole company in general. So then the next slide I want to share with you is the next one, which shows that they have different partnerships and strategic partnerships, especially with Daimler and the Thomas-built buses. So this is something pretty interesting, because it's, as they mentioned, an iconic brand and something which gives them credibility on the one hand, and also it shows how many different potential fleets might be interested in the technology and also in the products. So depending on which vehicle size, it's either 300,000 or more than 300,000 and more than 480,000. Then switching over to Proterra Transit. Not a lot to talk to here right now. They have different buses right now. It's the 5th generation, and they have a 50% market share according to the company's presentation, and a lot of mileage already driven. So this is a good sign in general, and also in comparison to the other, I'd say, call them startup EVs, this is a big plus in my opinion. So on page 22, and then there's the part about Proterra Energy, and then they offer anything from the engineering up to the energy sourcing, storage, or the charging infrastructure, and then energy management with the Apex software, and if needed, reuse or recycling of the batteries. Now this is, I think, especially the last point will be probably pretty important in the future, and also the fleets will probably like it if they have everything from one company. So they have the buses, and then also the infrastructure, energy structure, and energy monitoring system. This is, in my opinion, a plus if you can offer these, even though the revenues they are producing right now are not that big. So jump over these slides here. The next one I want to show you is this one, the energy solutions, and one thing I find pretty interesting is that since the buses and also a few school buses are involved here, they can be used to stabilize the grid and also use the vehicle to grid technology to charge the vehicle if the cost for electricity is low, and then decharge or give it back to the grid if the costs are high, so they can get a profit, and also you can stabilize the grid, which especially is helpful for the areas like California, and there's a lot of problems with the electricity and with the grid. This might be something interesting, and also for these bigger companies, and also to see how you can improve the energy usage and optimize it in general. And therefore Proterra also has a solution, which is the Epic software, which should help to control and monitor the consumption, also usage of the energy. So it's just an overview. I think this also helps to illustrate how it should be working, so you can have a look at this yourself. And the next one, which I think most of you are also interesting, is how should be the performance or the projections for the future. And as you can see, the numbers which have been for the years 2018 and 2019, which are finished right now, and as I mentioned before, it's a bit more than the projected 193 millions. And for the year 2021, they already reported 243 million in revenue, which is slightly lower than the projected numbers right here. And they already also projected pretty high margins growth in the future. So this is something which looks good to the potential investors. And as you can see, the amount of the revenue of the Proterra Transit should decline in the future, and the amount of the Proterra powered and energy parts which will be contributing to the revenue should increase dramatically, and also they should be higher than Proterra Transit in the future. Yeah, so this is almost it. I have one more slide, and this is the projections for the positive EBITDA, which should be after 2023, and the company is projecting to be free cash flow positive after the fiscal year of 2024. And then they aim to have a margin of 21, EBITDA margin of 21%, with around 540 million of EBITDA in 2025, and a potential free cash flow of 390 in the future. So this was a short introduction to the company, which I think is pretty interesting right now, or at least for the future, since it's, in my opinion, a field which is really suited for electrification, especially buses, school buses in general, I think. And they also have some tailwind from the infrastructure bill, and I think in general it's a good business model to try to electrify or to optimize the energy dense fleets. And this is something I'm really hoping that they can proceed in the future, and I think this might be interesting. However, I think right now it's not a good time for these companies with no I think it's a little bit significant revenue right now for the company, but no positive or free cash flow, and they probably will have a hard time for the stock price. However, I think company will be beneficial, or will benefit from different supports on the from the government and from the agencies. So they should have some tailwinds, and I think this should be a good company in the future. I'm not sure about the valuation right now, and I think I will be doing a follow-up for the company, and also having a look at the financials for the company, because they reported Q4 and then fiscal year 2021 numbers just a few days ago, and yeah, we'll be sharing with you the numbers and what I think about them in the future. So what do you think about the company? Would be really interesting to see and read what you think, and hope you enjoyed the video. And then until next time, have a good day. Bye bye.